I had done The Sopranos and was looking for something to get on TV after that experience, and realized TV was such a great medium that I hadn't really explored. And luckily, the job presented itself. And it was a little intimidating knowing that David was kind of leaving and they were going to create a new character, but they created such a great character for me that, you know, I loved it. It was a great time in my life. My wife was having a kid. I wanted to work in LA, and the show was in LA, and so the shooting schedule was going to be there. I wouldn't have to leave, you know, for most of the year, and it was exciting. But you know, the fan base was so like, who's this new guy? Wow, and the internet was new, and like, you know, people on the internet were saying all sorts of stuff. And gosh, I just looked at it as a job, you know. This is a great job, this wonderful writing. The production value on the show was incredible. It was like making a little mini movie every week. And then I had the opportunity to work with Gillian and Mitch, James Perkins, and it was such a great crew and great writing. It was a very, very exciting time. Gillian sent me some flowers. I remember a beautiful bouquet of flowers showed up in my house. You're so nice. She said the message was, get some sleep. GA. And I didn't realize what she was talking about, because it was the first time I've done an episodic in that way, and it's really like a factory kind of a situation. I mean, I hate to make it sound like that, but it is. You kind of go in, you punch your time clock at the start on Monday, and you're coming home early a.m.
Spat out on Saturday morning.
Sunday, yeah. I think it's the X-Files is the only job that I work like 36 hours in one day, you know. It's crazy. And then, I don't know if you remember this, Gillian, but I had, and I don't even know if this is a good thing for the crew or not, but I had 31 forced calls the first year. And I didn't know if it was good or bad.
What does that mean?
A forced call, we have a turnaround. I can't remember what we have. It's jobs, they vary, but I think the standard is sort of a 12-hour turnaround, portal to portal. Is that correct?
Something like that.
Something like that?
When you wrap to the back.
So what you have to do, you have to, you know, you show up to work, and then you work all day, and then you go home, and then you have to prep for the next day, or you're trying to stay ahead a couple of days of all the dialogue you've got coming up, and picking out your big
monologues. So if you're working a 17-hour day, say on a Monday, you might get picked up at 4:45 a.m. By the time it's, you know, Friday, the last weekday that you're working, you might be being picked up at, you know, at 2 p.m. because you're going to be working until sunrise, or whatever. But they, in order for everybody not to have to work so late, they'll ask the actors to decrease the amount of time between when they show up to work and when they come back again. And so they narrow that. So forced calls means you come back less than your 12-hour turnaround. So the maximum they can force you is 2 hours. But they can force you an extra 2 hours, so it's a 10-hour turnaround. But that doesn't include the travel, and very often the travel is an hour each way, so that means it's an 8-hour, you know what I mean? It gets, you know, and they're meant to pay you extra.
And that give you, Harry Bring, our one of the production managers, would always say, hey, I'm going to buy you a TV tomorrow. And that meant you were getting a forced call.
I've got 31 TVs, thanks. Thank you very much. But it was a crazy grind, and I got to tell you, Gillian was fantastic at it. I mean, she had it down. I don't know if you mind me saying this, but sometimes you had that cot in between trying to catch a nap every once in a while. It was a grueling experience, but very rewarding, exciting, and I had the best time doing it. And you know, hopefully you guys enjoyed John Doggett. I love John Doggett. It is my favorite character I've ever played. Because he was such, I don't get to play a lot of good guys. He had such a good heart, he was integrity, and had good values, he was a good dude, and I loved it. I loved the experience.
And that doesn't include, I'm assuming, the prep work you have to do for the next day in that turnaround time.
Oh, it's hard. It's hard. I mean, especially the babble she has to come up with. I mean, you look at her and go, good God, I'm glad it's you. You're the scientist.
Well, let's go to some
What
of your...
about you? How
Oh,
was
yeah.
it?
Annabeth came in.
I remember my freshman year of college, it was event television and the X-Files. We would watch it in our dorm lounge, you know what I mean? And it was like, it was this thing. So when I had the opportunity to join the show, also after auditioning my face off, it was a joy and a little intimidating. I'm so glad social media did not exist at that point in time as it does today, because I think it would have been, I mean, we were warmly welcomed, but there was, I mean, maybe that's in the past, nostalgic, that I'm sort of, maybe we weren't so warmly welcomed, but now we are, and I think we earned our stripes. But it really was, you knew you were joining something that was iconic, and it was just a true joy.
And we had been doing the show for 7 seasons, so we were at a certain point, sometimes we were running on fumes, and I've said this before, when they came, when both Robert and Annabeth came on the show, it brought a new energy to the show for us, and kind of gave us a boost, so it was welcome. You were welcome.
You're like, who are these mofos?
We were happy you were there.
Well, let's get to your fan questions.